Story 1. Mom mad that she was wrong about me being a 14-year-old pregnant slut. Backstory. My mom was never a great mom. At 13, I ran away to live with my dad. I also found out I had a medical condition, a tilted uterus. If you're curious, look it up. It didn't cause me any issues, so I never thought much of it. Main story. Fast forward a few months. I was 14, home alone at my dad's place when I suddenly collapsed from excruciating pain. It's hard to describe, but imagine someone gripping your lower spine and try to rip it out of your body. Think Predator. While someone else is twisting a knife in your stomach. It felt like my whole body was being torn apart. I could barely crawl to my bed, crying the entire time. When my dad and his girlfriend came home, they heard me screaming in pain. My dad asked what was wrong. I tried to play it off, saying it was just my period, that I'd be fine. But my dad's girlfriend insisted that it wasn't normal, and I needed to go to the hospital. Being the typical manly man he was, my dad didn't want to deal with lady problems and called my mom to take me instead. When my mom showed up, she was furious but tried to keep it together until we were in the car. As soon as we pulled away, she started yelling at me, saying I was probably having a miscarriage and that it was my fault for being a slut and getting pregnant at 14. Between sobs and screaming in pain, I tried to explain what the doctor had told me, but she called me a liar and told me to shut up. We got to the ER, and my mom started explaining her theory to the nurse. After I signed in, we were told to wait. The entire time in the waiting room, my mom didn't say a word to me. She just glared. When the nurse called me in, she told my mom to wait until the exam was done. My mom wasn't happy about this, but didn't argue. After the exam, the doctor called her in and explained everything I tried to tell her. He confirmed that I wasn't pregnant, just having a bad cycle that would pass in a couple of days. He offered to give me something for the pain, but my mom refused. He told me to go home and rest. The car ride back was silent and tense. I was still crying, but my mom didn't say a word. In my pain and delirium, I made a mistake and said, "I told you I wasn't lying." She immediately pulled over the car, turned to me, and said, "Get out. Now." She left me there. No cell phone, no money, just me in crippling pain, having to figure out how to get home. I somehow managed to drag myself a few blocks, and by the time I got close to my dad's place, I was crawling on the ground. I finally made it back to my dad's house, and his girlfriend found me and helped me up to my bed. She gave me Tylenol and a hot water bottle, trying to comfort me. I told them what happened, and my dad just shook his head in disgust, while his girlfriend was shocked by my mom's behavior. That was the last time I saw or spoke to my mom for 8 years. Stupidly, I reached out to her when I was pregnant, but that's a whole different story. Comment 1. What a shit mom, but the fact your dad didn't take you to the ER is upsetting itself too. Comment 2. I feel your pain, literally. I also have a titled uterus, and it makes periods horribly painful. I used to get such bad pain from that I would throw up and also struggle with week-long sciatica from my uterus pressing on the nerve. My mother also lacked sympathy and would just yell at me to suck it up. I don't know if you found any treatment or not, but a sympathetic OBGYN told me to take 4 ibuprofen, a prescription dose, every 8 hours followed an hour later by 2 Tylenol, and it really helps. You wouldn't want to do this all month long, just during the worst time of your cycle. If you decide to have children one day, having a titled uterus doesn't keep you from getting pregnant. I was a fertile myrtle, and usually the muscles and tendons of the uterus and supporting it get looser, and the pain will get better with each pregnancy. Being on the pill helps too if you skip the period week of the pills, but hormonal pills mess with me too much, so I was happy to find a good OBGYN. Comment 3. I Googled tilted uterus because of your story. Thanks, because that explains a lot for me. It sounds like I have that too. I know my mom did, but we never talked about what it caused, and I just don't doctor unless desperate. And your mom is awful. I'm really sorry she treated you so badly. I can't imagine seeing someone in pain and getting angry at them or abandoning them. Comment 4. Oh, honey. It breaks my heart to think of you at 14 without any help getting to the hospital or getting home. Yay for Dad's GF for knowing you needed hospital care and caring for you once you got home. I wish she could have taken you. I bet it would have been a very different experience for you to have someone who cared about you there to help. Even if she wasn't all that close, at least she cared enough to get you the help you needed. You said you reached out while pregnant. Does that mean you're low contact now? No contact. I hope it's none. What a mean and cruel thing to do to a 14-year-old kid. Your life must be much brighter whenever she's not in it. Story 2. No to grandparents' rights nut job. We've been completely no contact for almost a decade for a whole bunch of reasons that aren't really relevant to this story. I posted a photo of my husband with our niece on Facebook. Now, our niece looks a lot like me, so much so that it almost looks like my sister had my child. Of course, Nutjob saw the post because she stalks my Facebook. She somehow assumed we had a baby and didn't tell anyone. Instead of just reaching out to us, she decided to go the legal route and filed for grandparents' rights in her state. We were served with papers, and after talking it over, we got a lawyer. The lawyer responded to the court with a simple, "Thanks, but we don't have children." Next came the preliminary hearing, which was done over teleconference. The judge starts the session with, "Hey, Nutjob and your attorney, they don't have kids, so why are we even here?" Nutjob, of course, insists that we're lying. The judge asks us directly, and we confirm that we don't have kids. The child in the photo is our niece. Nutjob flips out. The judge is done with her at this point and tells her to leave us alone. He adds that if she's not even close enough to us to know whether or not we have children, then he's certainly not going to grant her any visitation rights. Her lawyer is furious because she lied to him. In the end, the case was thrown out. Done. No more to it. Comment 1. In some places, the Committee for Ethical Conduct, or their equivalent, could sanction the lawyer who filed the petition. He failed to investigate the facts and just jumped in with frivolous, meritless litigation. Sanctions could be anything from a slap on the wrist up to license suspension. I would check into it simply because I can do all things through spite, which strengthens me. Comment 2. My spirit twin, you are not alone. Same thing happened to us, except without a court case. My DH's birth giver has been cut off for decades and never met any of my now adult 5 children. One day, early in our marriage, there was a knock at the door. I opened it to find a police officer and a CPS agent. They stated they had received a report that we were starving and abusing our infant. Imagine the confusion when I let them inside to see that we didn't have a baby or any children at that point living in our home. We were a year into our marriage and getting ready to move. What happened was that she had seen a picture of me holding my husband's best friend's newborn on a blog site and thought we had a baby without telling anyone. All we could do was laugh and solidified our resolve to never let her near any of our children when born or let her have our address. I'm curious how your MIL could file for GPR in her state when that isn't where the kids reside. How did they even make it to court? Her lawyer should have been well aware of jurisdiction. Comment 3. I would keep posting pictures of me and that kid like we got one over on her and let it drive her mad. Story 3. But we're Catholic. Emile tries to dictate my religion, and now my babies too. This happened a while ago, but it came up recently, and I just need a vent. So, a while back, Emile asked me what religion I was. I told her I belonged to a specific denomination, not Catholic, and she just looked completely confused. I tried to explain it calmly, thinking I was just sharing something about myself. Then she hit me with this. But we're Catholic. You can't be from that religion. You'll have to convert, like Phil's father did. I was honestly stunned. I told her, firmly but politely, that I wouldn't be converting and that I feel really connected to my faith. She just brushed it off, giving me this passive-aggressive vibe, as if she couldn't fathom that someone might choose something different than her beliefs. Fast forward to more recently, she asked me, "Are we going to baptize LO?" I told her no, because I'm not Catholic. Thank goodness, Phil finally seemed to catch on to how overbearing she can be and stepped in with, "We are not baptizing anyone. That's their decision." I could have hugged him for that. But, of course, she came back later with another jab, asking if I was baptized. I said yes, in my own denomination. She smiled that smile, you know the one, and said, "I thought your religion wasn't even Christian." It was dripping with smugness and sarcasm. Honestly, I just wanted to scream. Yes, Emile, my religion is Christian. You just can't accept it because it's not your version of Christianity. She always finds these subtle ways to make me feel less than, or like I'm somehow wrong for not following her beliefs. Anyone else dealing with Emile who thinks she gets a say in your faith? Ugh. Comment 1. Mine threatened to do it behind my back. I said, "Go ahead. It's useless without my consent, and it will be the last time you'll see your grandchild." Comment 2. Yeah, no unsupervised contact between her and the little one. Catholics who are that insistent about baptizing have a tendency of doing it themselves unsupervised. Ask her how she feels about her faith being responsible for dead children in Canada or defending a bunch of kid diddlers. That should shut her up every time she mentions religion. Comment 3. I have a relative who likes, in the lead up to weddings, to tell people that they need to be married in the Catholic Church and that he has connections to get them a good deal for the service. My partner likes to chime in with an offer to become qualified as a celebrant and officiate as a priest of the flying spaghetti monster wearing a colander. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.